A city gets new water meters, and people's bills go berserk.
Why are we paying these excruciatingly high bills, and why are they so inconsistent?
A new congressman for Colorado gets sworn in and wastes no time dodging questions and making an obviously false claim. Congrats on your car registration being way less than you expected. Oh wait, DMV says they messed up thousands of payment notices. And we go in search of your good news on a Friday in a place where New Year's resolutions go to die.
As of right now, I'm doing good, but we're only 3 days in, so.
Hey, you can't get to 4 days unless you get to 3. Give yourself some credit and settle in for next.
The FBI now says the Coloradan who killed himself and blew up his Cybertruck outside a Trump property in Las Vegas was dealing with mental health issues. It wasn't terrorism. Investigators say Matthew Livelsberger, Green Beret from Colorado Springs, died by suicide shortly before the explosion Wednesday. No one else was killed. There were some minor injuries. Today, investigators say that Livelsberger left a note on his phone indicating that he wanted to provide a wake-up call for America. He wasn't trying to hurt people or make some kind of a statement about President-elect Donald Trump. Investigators say they believe that he had PTSD. He had been deployed twice to Afghanistan. The FBI reiterated today there does not appear to be a link between Livelsberger and the suspect who drove a truck into a crowd in New Orleans, killing 14 people on Wednesday. Being better at spending and budgeting, that's a popular New Year's resolution. Well, good luck doing that if you live in Englewood. Our Marshall Zellinger explains.
Okay, here I go.
How much do you think that just cost you?
According to Englewood, probably $100.
Penny is joking about the number of pennies her Englewood water bill has suddenly added up to.
October, we're at $378.42.
Sure, she has lots of plants around her.
They are in a semi-dormant stage. They get watered once a week. Yeah, there's a lot of plants, but it's a gallon per room.
Penny's billing situation is not unique. After the city installed this new water meter in July, her bill for water usage dropped from $133 to nothing for the next 2 months, then up to $300 for what is listed as September and October.
There's October right there, boing, way up there. Why are we paying these excruciatingly high bills, and why are they so inconsistent? And why are they so confusing to read?
When you can't see the consumption data on your bill, it's hard to understand why you've had 0 charges and then all of a sudden 1 month you have 3 months worth of charges.
The lack of certain transparency is one of the issues Englewood Utilities Director Peter Van Rij has been working through since July.
The fix in August didn't work, and then it also didn't work in September.
Englewood water customers are seeing one of 2 problems, if not both. New water meters with delayed data and a new billing system with missing data.
Well, in the January bill, there will be a set of boxes that will show consumption, the range of that consumption. That's what's been missing on this bill.
Van Rij says the underlying data, even if it is not on the bill, is accurate based on the data the city can see.
We have talked to hundreds and hundreds of our customers over the last several months. It may take a little while to get through, but please know that we will walk you through your bill and we will look at the charges, because if there is something wrong, we want to make sure it's right.
Englewood has paused late fees and water shutoffs through March to get bills looking correct and to ease the mind of residents. With Penny's bill, the 2 months she was not charged for water usage at all, her bill was $69.53, which is her minimum charge, which includes a water improvement fee, sewer, and stormwater tile. So for customers like her who had a $70 bill, it can be easy to understand why you thought, hey, I paid my bill, but that didn't include any water usage.
For folks looking for a New Year's resolution, look at your bills, right? I think it's so easy to look at it and be like, oh, I got all these fees and charges, oh, whatever. You just grimace and you pay it. But ask questions. Ask the utility questions. Ask you questions.
Penny said, I helped with, she said, public service, which is Excel. 2 years ago, we went line by line. What is on your bill and why? Do that for all of your utility bills. Do it to find out what taxes you're paying and the service fees. And maybe it's like, oh, I'm paying something that I didn't mean to be paying. I'm going to cancel that. Yeah, use this as a New Year's resolution.
All right. Marshall Zellinger, thank you. Newly sworn-in Republican Congressman Gabe Evans ducked questions today about whether he will support one of his party's top priorities, a bill that would strip federal funding from the state of Colorado over its immigration-related policies. Evans is the first Republican to represent the 2-year-old 8th Congressional District, which stretches from Thornton up to Weld County. He's a former law enforcement officer who made immigration his top campaign issue. That aligns with the priorities of President-elect Donald Trump and the Republican majority in the House, which has teed up a vote soon on a bill that would strip federal funding from the state of Colorado because Colorado limits cooperation between local law enforcement and federal immigration agents. I asked Evans today how stripping federal funding would impact his district and whether he supported the idea. He said this.
Again, I think we need to make sure that American taxpayer dollars are going to American taxpayers and to those folks that are committed to lawfully following our laws first.
When pressed again on whether he's going to vote for this bill, whether he would support pulling federal funding from Colorado over immigration policy, Evans falsely claimed that Colorado law bans all cooperation between local police and federal immigration agents.
In Colorado, it is illegal for anybody, any state or local law enforcement, regardless of the level of infraction, whether it's a headlight out or whether it's somebody that's committing crimes and taking over apartment complexes in Aurora. None of that there's no coordination that's allowed between state and local law enforcement and federal authorities.
Evans' claim that there's no coordination is false. Colorado law does block local law enforcement from detaining or holding somebody just because of their immigration status, but cooperation between the locals and the feds does happen. Evans referenced Venezuelan gang members in Aurora. Some of them are in federal custody after they were arrested by local law enforcement exactly because of the cooperation that happens in Colorado. Evans today joined the vast majority of House Republicans in re-electing Mike Johnson as House Speaker. Even Congresswoman Lauren Boebert fell in line after teasing last night that Johnson hadn't yet earned her vote. Today was relatively smooth sailing following the Republican infighting of years past. 2 years ago, it took Republicans 15 rounds of voting across 2 days to elect a House Speaker. It's the first time in more than 100 years that a Speaker was not elected on the first ballot. Boebert played a key role in holding up that process. Well, don't expect a shroom boom now that psychedelic therapy is newly legal in Colorado. Applications just opened for people to run supervised natural medicine centers this week, and some cities and towns are already passing major restrictions on where they can go. In November, Colorado Springs City Council passed new rules drastically restricting so-called healing centers, licensed offices where patients can get psychedelic therapy under supervision. Colorado Springs will ban centers within 1 mile of a school, daycare, or drug treatment center. Critics say that's pretty much the whole city. And last month, Town Council and Monument required the healing centers be 1,000 feet away from schools or homes. Monument's town attorney says they have the same rule for pot shops. Want to guess how many pot shops there are in Monument? 0. Therapy is also likely to be extremely expensive. The therapy centers have high licensing costs that they'll pass along to customers, and psilocybin therapy is not covered under most health insurance. This week's Word of Thanks microgiving campaign is in memory of a man that all of us knew, but most of us never met. A guy who once came to Colorado to help other volunteers build affordable housing. Former President Jimmy Carter. In celebration of his lifetime of service, I invite you to join me and a bunch of other Coloradans in supporting Habitat for Humanity of Metro Denver, just like Carter did. He came to build and repair habitat homes in Denver in 2013, and that nonprofit's work continues, making sure that more people who work in Denver and Aurora can live in Denver and Aurora. Habitat's working on 8 new homes in Denver this year, a new home build of 20 units in Aurora. Habitat sells the homes that it builds to families below cost, so they are still carrying significant mortgages in the hundreds of thousands of dollars, but at a more affordable level. Deal is, they can resell the home down the line, and they can keep some of that equity, but not so much that the home is not affordable for the next owner and the next one after that. Every dollar that we raise through this week's microgiving campaign is going to go to those Habitat builds in Denver and Aurora. Scan the QR code on your screen or text the word THANKS to 303-871-1491 to get that link to donate. More than 3,900 of you have now signed up to simplify your giving with a monthly donation to the Word of Thanks Fund. You put in your info once, we split it among each nonprofit we feature weekly. It means we've started recent microgiving campaigns with about $25,000 in donations. Use that same QR code or text to get there. Trip to the mountains for some fresh snow is likely to take longer this weekend. CDOT prepares for record crowds.
Just do good, be good, and kind of pass it on.
You know what? That's a good New Year's resolution, and it's good news as well. That's next. If you're going skiing this weekend, just be aware, so is everybody else and their mother. CDOT's predicting record-breaking traffic on I-70 over the weekend. Actually put out a warning to the public today, and it's based on historical numbers. Because last time New Year's fell on a Wednesday, that was 2020. The following Friday and Saturday saw records for daily and hourly traffic, especially at the tunnel. 2020 also saw major mountain snow over the new year. Now, we haven't gotten as much snow this year, but CDOT says any kind of fresh powder coming in the forecast is likely to ramp up ski traffic. They also remind people, don't depend on being able to use the mountain express lanes where you mortgage your children's future for an easier drive, because those lanes might have to be used as emergency shoulders if there are crashes in bad weather. Meanwhile, avalanche forecasters are warning of elevated risk up in the backcountry through the weekend. The Colorado Avalanche Information Center says they have seen a couple of slides triggered from afar or coming in low-angle terrain recently. New Year's Eve, skiers triggered a large avalanche near the Eisenhower Tunnel. Fortunately, in that case, nobody was hurt.
The Colorado Avalanche Information Center said that conditions are sketch. And when they say that, they mean business, and that means you need to pay attention. Pay attention to the signs, stay in bounds, enjoy all of the fresh powder from the past week and the snow that's coming in with this storm arriving from the west early tomorrow afternoon. Look at all the high cloud cover. Not much coming out of those clouds. We started with that dense fog this morning that created all kinds of travel issues by air and by land, but enough sunshine. We got to 50 in Denver, 66 in Trinidad, 62 in Colorado Springs. It did not feel that warm to me when I was outside today. And the air quality, not good. We have an air quality alert out through tomorrow. We're just not getting a lot of wind to mix this out. And we're going under a dense fog advisory again tonight. That means your flights may be impacted in and out of DIA tonight and tomorrow. And then we have snow coming to the mountains with advisories for travel. And then we have snow coming to Denver tomorrow night for 1 to 3 inches of snow starting in the afternoon. Down to 32 in the city, still some 40s on the map this hour. Dense fog advisory starting at 8 o'clock through I-76 corridor, Fort Morgan, Sterling, and Julesburg. Tomorrow starting at 3, winter weather advisory, 4 to 9 inches of snow, gusts to 50. You will have some travel impacts with this incoming storm. No issues tonight, no issues tomorrow through midday. Then we get into the afternoon, foothill snow showers by 2:30, metro snow showers by 3:30 or 4, continuing all night and moving out by tomorrow morning, out by the Broncos game. 1 to 3 inches for Denver, 2 to 5 east of town. No advisories for Denver yet. Temperatures will trend colder and stay that way. And so we look for a high of 37 tomorrow, 32 on Sunday. Potential impacts with black ice and winter driving. A break Monday and another chance for snow and super cold high of only 29 on Tuesday.
If you think you're getting a sweet deal on your next car registration amount, you are not. State DMV made a mistake. DMV tells us a calculation error in the state computer system led them to mail out 38,000 registration postcards with lower fees than what people actually owe. Rylan Fino told us his postcard for his 2023 Kia Telluride, which tracks your sex life if you were watching yesterday, said that he owes $680, but the online payment portal told him it was really $795. He tried to argue he shouldn't have to pay the extra, but you're up against the government, so you know how that works.
If you were at a restaurant or if you went into a store and you saw a sticker price, you're expecting to kind of pay that price. So I tried to see if they would honor that amount for me, and no such luck.
DMV says the 38,000 incorrect postcards were 4% of the total postcards mailed out in December and January. They've corrected the issue for the February renewals. They're promising to mail out letters to anybody who got one of the incorrect amount postcards. Denver and Arapahoe County are freezing enrollment in a program that helps low-income families pay for childcare. And that's because the state is preparing to deal with rising costs and make cuts to the program. The Colorado Child Care Assistance Program uses local, state, and federal tax dollars to help pay for child care for almost 29,000 kids. New federal rules are increasing those costs. State legislators are preparing to cut more than $500 million from the budget this year, and in that will be a 20% reduction in the number of people that can be helped by that program. At least 6 other counties have already frozen enrollment: Adams, Alamosa, Boulder, Broomfield, El Paso, Larimer. And the state's worried that every county could be on a freeze or a wait list for the program by the end of the fiscal year. More discouraging news for parents. The state's also considering cutting back on universal pre-K hours. State legislators estimate that offering just 10 hours of free pre-K a week instead of 15 hours like they're doing currently could save the state up to $30 million.
The end of the last year was very good, and so, like I said, I'm just trying to carry that over.
Let's start the new year off right. Little sweat, little work, little answer to our favorite Friday question. What's your good news? And a reminder, you can catch Next streaming each night at 6 p.m. on 9 News Plus. Next is now a podcast each weeknight. That's how you can listen to last night's show and figure out what I'm talking about with Kias and sex lives. Each Friday for the last 8 years, we've gone out somewhere in Colorado to ask people the same exact question. It's a way to kind of recenter us after the week and remind us what really matters in life. So with this being prime New Year's resolution time, we went to where people were working out today to ask them, as always, what's your good news?
3, 2, 1, and go. My name's Michelle Kinney, and the good news is we have a new year with a lot of motivated people in here ready to get better and get fitter. All right, after that, we're gonna get 10 calf raises.
Good news is my cousin, all my friends have had babies. They've been really healthy this year, and love to see that.
Freestyle, any version of jump rope you want.
My good news is that I moved, and now my stress level has gone down.
And then walk those hands back to your feet, touch your toes, reach for the sky.
The good news is I was able to go hit the slopes for the first time yesterday, and it was a fantastic day out on the slopes, so recommend people get out there as much as they can.
There's some good news. Mom and son workout.
The end of the last year was very good, and so, like I said, I'm just trying to carry that over.
Still rehabbing a knee surgery, so my goal is to fully recover so I can get back on the snowboard as soon as possible. 2025 is going to be different. I'm going to be smart about my rehab and recovery and make sure I take care of my body so that I can do the things I love to do, including coach these people. All right, back to the PVC pipe.
Start working out. If you haven't already, start working out.
So I started a couple of years ago with the birth of my daughter. Not only do I want to last a little bit longer to make sure I'm around to see her grow up, but I had also gained a little bit of poundage along the way as my wife was pregnant.
3, 2, 1, relax. Find something you love that keeps you active and do it. And rest.
I went to CrossFit once, you know. I went with a buddy, yeah. It's hard, it's hard. I was in the parking lot thinking I was gonna lose my lunch. And my buddy's like, you did good, you wanna go for donuts? We went for donuts. We're back with your feedback next. The most Colorado thing we saw today, snowplows, doing what they do best, holding up traffic.
We are on a roadblock with 3 plows. They got I-70 shut down.
Saying that unplowed roads need attention, consider those plows might be out fighting crime. Idaho Springs police shared video of a car chase on I-70 near Floyd Hill last night. This driver didn't really have a chance. First, this dude's trying to outrun police in a Hyundai, and then they run into a full-on side-by-side plow roadblock. That was the end of the police chase. They say the suspect turned themselves in. Feedback by text tonight. My New Year's resolution is to make charitable gifts easier. Just signed up for your monthly Word of Thanks program. Happiest of New Year's. Thank you so much for giving. We will try our best to come up with a cause every week that is worthy of your generosity. Reese says, thanks for having Habitat for Humanity as this week's charity. Wanted to donate in honor of Jimmy Carter. Didn't get around to it. Thank you for the boost and for keeping it local. Yes, it will be local. And a text that says, I want to support Habitat, but not this program. Please advise. Well, okay. I would encourage you then to mail a check to Habitat for Humanity Metro Denver and on the subject line write, Boo Jimmy Carter.